What's up, everybody? Demon back. Welcome to a brand new video, and today we're doing another Godzilla King of the Monsters news and updates. Chapter time's in the description below. Skip to whatever story you want. It's up to you. Go for it. We're going to start out here with an incredible art piece. I don't know who the artist is. I really apologize. But it's a really cool one of Ghidorah flying in the clouds next to a plane. That is such an awesome shot. I think this is amazing. Next, we have an art piece done by Sam McCreary. I think that's how you say his name. He calls it a classic 80s style poster for Godzilla King of the Monsters. It's awesome. This reminds me of like an old cartoon. I really like it. And then GNA hit us with this awesome piece last night. A really cool picture of Godzilla Mothra, and it looks like Rodan here as well. Ghidorah's in the background also. I don't think I said that, but yeah, he's there, obviously. Remember in the previous news update when we mentioned those seismic waves that were affecting all over the world in real life and how Monarch blames it on Godzilla? Vera Farmiga also tweeted hinting about that same possibility that this is Godzilla's fault. She says that she knows what the cause of it is, so just more fun advertisements for the movie. Then Godzilla on the Monarch website, he was spotted off the coast of Tokyo, headed on his way to Japan, so that's fun. As he got closer, he did arrive there last night. As he got closer, lights were spotted in the Japanese sea by a big fishing vessel. You can see the picture here, and in the distance you can see Godzilla's dorsal fins in the background. Again, pretty cool. I always like these Monarch things. They're always fun. So that's a cool one. We haven't seen that one before. I think it's cool. Like I said though, Godzilla did make his way to Japan. He landed at Tokyo Comic-Con just in time for not a trailer to drop. We'll talk about that in the next video. Yes, Godzilla King of the Monsters went on stage at Tokyo Comic-Con. It had its own panel. The panel itself, there's a little bit to break down that we'll talk about at the end, but that has mostly to do with the monsters themselves, with the concept art that was released at the panel. It wasn't released to the public, but they showed it off there, and we have pictures of it from the panel, so we'll cover that in a bit. But before we get to that, there wasn't too much to talk about other than, yeah, they did a panel with Michael Dougherty, pretty cool. Before we jump into the Godzilla statue, I want to show off the previous Godzilla statues from 2014. We have one that Gareth Edwards was seen next to. This is the main one that they had back in 2014. And then they had another one that they did at displays. I think this one was a little smaller than the one Edwards was standing next to. And then the one you see in the bottom right here, this was a massive Godzilla statue in Japan. I think it might still be there. And it's a Godzilla 2014 statue. The problem with all these Godzilla statues is they didn't have much depth to them. They were like, the comparison you could make would be they are the X Plus figures to the new statues Tanaka Studios, because the current Godzilla King of the Monsters statue is out and it looks phenomenal. Look at this thing, so much depth. It looks absolutely incredible. You got another shot here, Michael Dougherty standing next to Godzilla. Oh my god, this thing looks amazing. I love how much detail is put into it, how big it looks, how mean he looks. I love this. This is Godzilla. So you might be wondering, what is the difference between this Godzilla and the previous Godzilla? Well, there's quite a few that Michael Dougherty revealed at this panel. First off, he revealed that Godzilla has bigger feet now, which, yes, please. Those stupid little elephant feet in 2014 were my least favorite part of that design. So I love that Godzilla's got bigger feet now, bigger claws on his feet specifically. He's got larger dorsal fins. They said they modeled the dorsal fins after the 1954 Godzilla. However, a lot of astute Godzilla fans have noticed that these dorsal fins are more reminiscent of the 84 dorsal fins rather than the 54 dorsal fins. That's neither here nor there. I think they're really cool either way. I do prefer the maple leaf over the jagged ones we got in 2014, especially because the 2014 ones were a lot shorter than they should have been. So I like how they increased the size of them and shaped them to look like maple leaves again. That's always my favorite design for dorsal fins. For Godzilla anyways. They made him a little bit taller in this movie. We don't know how much taller. We also know they slimmed him down a fair bit from the last movie. His teeth are now larger than they were previously, along with his eyes, which are slightly larger, and he has bigger claws on his hands. He has sharper hands as well, so that's really cool. The other things we learned at the panel were that Michael Dougherty rewatched every single Godzilla movie, according to him anyways. I believe him. He says he rewatched every Godzilla movie in preparation for Godzilla King of the Monsters. The original roars for the monsters are used, however they are updated slightly from how they were previously. Real life animal sounds were also recorded for the new monsters, which we already knew that. And there are loads of Easter eggs in this film, so you gotta be really watching it. He says you're gonna have to see it like 2 or 3 times if you're a really deep Godzilla fan who goes all in, you're gonna have to watch it 2 or 3 times to catch everything. You guys already know I saw Kong Skull Island like 7 times in theaters. There's no way I'm not seeing this movie like 20. And then at one point in the movie, we do go back to Japan. I don't know if Godzilla goes back to Japan, but I think we do go back to Japan at one point in the movie. He ended the panel with a pretty good quote, which is, "Toho did it first." Yes, they did. All right, the concept art. There's some really cool concept art for this movie that was shown off at this panel. Before we jump into it, we'll talk about the monsters redesigned slightly here, showing off the art that goes with it. You know, we got this Mothra art. It's not, there's not too much to say about it. It actually looks very traditional in terms of Mothra. And these concept arts that we'll show off in this video, these don't reflect the actual monsters designs in the movie 100%. They're similar to the monsters designs in the actual movie. Rodan especially is significantly different than he actually winds up being in the movie, but the other guys, Mothra and King Ghidorah and Godzilla, they are similar to what they wind up being. So we'll cover the concept arts here and cover the changes that he made with the monsters, but we will cover the monsters' official design reveal in a future video centered around a certain toy brand. Okay, this Mothra concept art got the classic colors back. I'm very happy about that. One thing I was worried about is that Mothra was going to be entirely blue the full movie. I do like the blue Mothra. I really like the rainbow Mothra design. You guys have known, I've been talking about it since San Diego Comic-Con 2017, the possibility of a blue Mothra, and then we got that guy who confirmed it for us, and then we saw it in the trailer that it is a blue Mothra. It turns out the Mothra can change her color scheme. She has 2 color sets. She can either look traditional Mothra, or when she's in danger or whatever she is, whatever she feels, I don't know what emotions she has to feel, she can flare up into blue and she can be the blue Mothra, which is awesome. And then she can get really bright and turn into the God Rays, which is not as visually interesting, but it's a cool power nonetheless. With this Mothra design, they wanted it to be beautiful. Unlike previous Mothra designs where they were more insect-like, they wanted this one to be more goddess-like. Personally, my favorite Mothra design, even seeing the new Mothra, it is the 2003 Mothra from Godzilla Tokyo SOS. That's my favorite design of Mothra, along with, I really like the armored Mothra in the Rebirth movies. But those are my favorites, especially the Tokyo SOS one. This one's really cool. We'll get into some of my more specific problems with it in the SHMA video that we'll be doing later today, but in terms of just in general, I do like this design quite a bit. They also wanted Mothra to look like she could fight other monsters. They wanted her to be able to go toe-to-toe with Ghidorah. So they needed to make her look beautiful, but at the same time powerful, and I think they achieved that very well. Also, apparently she can make her wings look like Godzilla's eyes to scare off predators. Some people have misinterpreted this, thinking that Mothra has 2 Godzilla eyes on her wings. That's not what they're saying in the panel. In the panel, he's saying that Mothra's wings can look like Godzilla's eyes if she wants them to. She can probably camo them. That's probably what the little round things on the tips of her main wings are, the big ones. I'd assume that she can like flare those up color-wise to make them look like Godzilla's eyes. That'd be a cool thing to do in the movie. They could do a cool fake out where it's like in the smog or like in smoke, you can't see what's happening. All of a sudden you see blue Godzilla eyes light up and you're like, oh man, Godzilla's gonna go toe-to-toe with Rodan, and then all of a sudden Mothra flies out. That'd be a good fake out. But yeah, I think this Mothra design overall is pretty cool. Now going into Rodan. Oh, good lord, Rodan. So there's their concept art for Rodan. Remember all those videos I made about that Rodan maquette? And remember how I was saying that it wasn't real? It wasn't going to be in the movie? It's not real Rodan? Hey, guess what? It's not real Rodan. This concept art proves it was somewhat official, sort of, in terms of it was an idea they had. And clearly they realized it wasn't a good idea because they changed it. Maybe there's people on the movie who are like, or like staff members working on the movie who are like, this would have been a better design. No offense to those guys. It wouldn't have been. It looks too much like a big bird. It doesn't look intimidating. It's a big bird. Since when has a big bird ever been intimidating? Well, clearly you've never seen an ostrich face to face before. Whatever, birds are not scary. Okay, the changes they made to Rodan's actual design in this movie, he's now made of lava rock. The silly bird design is not official. It was not going to be in the movie. It was an early idea that they scrapped because it was a bad idea. There are no feathers in the finalized design like there were here. Yeah, that means the maquette, they were feathers. According to Michael Dougherty, he says no feathers anymore. They were feathers. Rodan does not have feathers. He should never have feathers. Although, it is kind of sad. Rodan's lava red in this movie, which is good. He's maintaining his old look. But I'm a little disappointed. Now the true hero of this movie is gone. Now we have actual Rodan in the movie. I was kind of hoping they'd do something different, and instead of giving us the same Rodan we've gotten for the past however many years, what if they could give us a flying battleship? Because that's what this looks like. I mean, I'm really hard on this design because I really dislike it. It looks like the giant condor that Godzilla fights in Sea Monster or the giant claw. It doesn't look like Rodan, so I'm so glad they didn't pick this design. But either way, guys, I mean, the Rodan we get in the movie is not this Rodan, so I can rest. I can sleep easy. By the way, if anyone's actually like, is he still upset about the Rodan things from forever ago? No, I'm not. I said it back then. I really didn't care. If this was going to wind up in the movie, I would have been disappointed because I actually do hate this design, but it wouldn't have been like I would have cried about it. And ultimately, I said even back then, I was like, hey, I could be wrong, but I'm probably not, because it didn't seem like it was going to be in the movie, and it didn't seem official. It was kind of official, but it's also not going to be in the movie, so I was half right. King Ghidorah does not have anything changed with his design, really. The Ghidorah design is fairly traditional, as we'll talk about in a future Godzilla video. We don't even actually have a full design of him yet from the concept arts. We just have like pictures of him fighting Godzilla, which is okay because these are awesome shots. But the only thing that Michael Dougherty says they changed is Ghidorah's center head is now the smartest head. The other two heads are like younger, dumber brothers. I'm okay with that. They all have their own personalities. I think that's awesome. I think that's a really neat spin on Ghidorah. I'm okay with them not changing anything for this new incarnation of the monster. But yeah, here you go, guys. This is an awesome picture of Godzilla fighting King Ghidorah. We had a secondary picture of Godzilla fighting King Ghidorah that was one underwater. Super interesting. There has been some theories I've seen on Twitter of maybe this will be an underwater battle between Godzilla and Ghidorah in the movie upon Ghidorah's unthawing in Antarctica. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think that this was just an idea that they had. I don't think there will be an underwater fight in the movie. This does look quite a bit like the SDCC art we got for Godzilla King of the Monsters, and they did it at Tokyo Comic Con as well. They had the same poster. This is, it looks similar to that in terms of art style. I think this is an awesome picture. Godzilla fighting Ghidorah underwater. We won't see in the movie, though. I really don't think we will. It wouldn't really make sense, right? I don't know when in the story that would fit. It seems like this movie, Godzilla won't get to fight Ghidorah until a bit later in, so this wouldn't make sense for Godzilla to fight him straight away. Also, why would Godzilla be in Antarctica, like, right away? He'd be like, oh, well, I gotta get there because Ghidorah's unthawing. Unless there's, like, an actual built-in reason in the plot for Godzilla to be there, that'd be a little silly. For him to just be like, oh, I guess I'll go down there and show up just kind of at the same time as Ghidorah unthaws. Or even if he causes Ghidorah's unthawing. I don't like that idea, because why would Godzilla have not gone down there at some point in the hundreds of thousands of millions of years he's been alive? Why would he not have gone down there to check on Ghidorah before this point when he accidentally unthaws him? I don't know. I don't like that idea that Godzilla's down there when Ghidorah unthaws. I think this is just a concept art that won't be in the movie. Here's my favorite thing of the episode, of this news and updates episode, and this has been something that I've just been obsessing over for the past about 12 hours. It is Ifukube's Godzilla music. We have heard the first little bit of it. Before we jump into listening to it, I want to talk about what Michael Dougherty had to say about it. He said that one of the most interesting and iconic aspects of Godzilla for him is the music, and so he was really adamant on getting Godzilla's music into this movie. He does confirm that themes for Godzilla and Mothra will return. I don't know if that means one theme for each. Fingers crossed it does not. This is why. There's two themes for each monster that I would lose it if we heard. Godzilla's main theme, which there is an extended version of Godzilla's main theme. That's the one they're going to use for this movie. We've talked about this before. The one they're going to use for this movie is probably the Heisei Godzilla theme song, which has the big main part. As well as your most iconic section, which is kind of the Godzilla March. My favorite Godzilla theme is, I consider it to be his more villainous theme, because it starts with his villainous movies, and it's been constant throughout the series, but it always feels like a very villainous theme for Godzilla for me. So I would want this one to be in the movie as well. And I'm not going to be like, oh, if it doesn't have all of those versions of Godzilla's theme song, I'm going to hate the movie. I'm totally fine if they just do like the Ready Player One Godzilla theme song and the da-na-na-na-na-na. I'm fine with that. but I would prefer if they had both of them. Also with that, he confirms that Mothra's theme will return. He doesn't say anything about Ghidorah's theme not returning. That's okay because Ghidorah's theme has always been kind of different throughout the movies. He said one main theme that I'm not a huge fan of, and then he said the Rodan theme, which I am a huge fan of, and even Rodan, his theme is always changing. Sometimes he has that Ghidorah-ish theme that I always consider as Ghidorah's theme. Sometimes he has a different Rodan theme song. So I think in this new movie, they're probably not going to go with the classic Ifukube theme song for Ghidorah and Rodan. Upsets me though. You know, that means that my custom themes are never going to be a reality, but that's okay. I would prefer, though, Ghidorah's theme song to be that epic thing that Ifukube composed, but I'm okay if it isn't. For whatever reason, though, I am still set on, like, Rodan's theme song should be the Mysterians theme song, and that should just be how it always is. I don't know why it isn't, and that would be awesome. But it'd specifically have to be a remade version of it like the one I did. Couldn't just straight up take the original Mysterians theme song. I'm getting way off topic. Mothra's theme songs are going to be in this movie, or at least one of them. There's 2 theme songs for Mothra that are potential candidates to show up in this movie. The one I would prefer is Sacred Springs, otherwise known as Sacred Fountains from the Heisei era. I think the one we will get is Mothra's actual theme song because a Japanese TV host who was interviewing Michael Dougherty at Tokyo Comic Con panel started singing Mothra's theme song, and Michael Dougherty nodded and said, "That's the one." I wonder which version of it they're going to go with. There's been a few throughout the years. I feel like they'll go with an instrumental version of it rather than the actual singing, because where would the singing fit in this movie? I'm not sure. Okay, Bear McCreary's Godzilla theme song. We have heard at least a version of it. I don't know if this is the final version that'll wind up in the movie. I don't know if this will actually be in the movie at all. It could be, and it fits for the movie from what I think is going to happen at the end of the movie. It would fit perfectly. This might be a trailer song. It could just be something else that Bear McCreary made for promotion. You know, it'd be a little weird for them to actually take an official song from the soundtrack out of context and play it at these conventions with Godzilla's theme song in it. It also kind of spoil Godzilla's theme song in the movie. So I kind of hope this isn't Godzilla's theme song in the movie. And that's not to say that this is bad, because this isn't. This is awesome. But I don't know. I think it'll be a little disappointing if I'm listening to the movie and I'm like, oh, I've heard this song 1,000 times before because I've already listened to it a whole bunch. And I'll be like, oh yeah, this is Godzilla's hero moment. The actual song itself, it's really good. Although, there's one complaint I have with it. It starts out with your main Godzilla theme song, which is cool. The dark one. And then it gets into your Godzilla March theme song, which is fun. And it has some great parts in the middle, some great heroic moment sounding parts in the middle that tie everything together. Pretty similar to what I do with the custom themes, although this is much more upbeat than what I've done in the past. This reminds me a lot of the Ready Player One Godzilla theme song, actually. The one thing that I dislike about it is the choir. I don't understand why we need the choir in this song. It feels a little cheap to me. If we actually hear it in the movie, maybe I'll love it and I'll be like, that's awesome. But as it stands now, I'm like, that's a little silly if you ask me. The fact that the choir, it's not like a normal choir. It's like they're singing Godzilla, Godzilla. It's weird. It reminds me of that old Godzilla Island one, you know, Godzilla, Godzilla. You know that one? The really fun upbeat one. It reminds me of that. So I don't know. Is this actually going to be in the movie? I hope the choir isn't. Not to say that it's like bad. It's pretty epic. But at the same time, it's like a choir singing Godzilla's name. I could see how people would laugh at that, and I don't want people to laugh at that. But ultimately, this is such a cool theme song. There's loads of different snippets of it online.
ぜひそちらの方にもご注目ください。
There there is only one full version that I've been able to find, and it's not technically the full version because it starts, I would assume, about 30 seconds to a minute into the song. But they have been posting about this all over the place. Even the Ifukube organization on Twitter retweeted this and was like, here you go, your first look at Bear McCreary's Godzilla theme song, which a lot of us weren't even certain this was Bear McCreary for a little bit. A lot of us thought what this might be is just a promotional song that they did for the the Comic-Cons and the conventions, and it's just a remix, a modernization, a re-recording. But then the Ifukube organization confirms that this is Bear McCreary's theme song. It's still not 100%. It could be someone else's, but I think this is actually Bear McCreary's theme song. And where I think this would fit into the movie is the very end of the movie. What this sounds like to me is Godzilla has just been put through the ringer. I think it's just at this point in the fight going to be him and Ghidorah. They're the last two standing. Godzilla's been put through the ringer. He gets pissed off. Right when the song starts, he is pissed off. And then once he charges up his atomic breath, fingers crossed for it to turn red, he fires it at Ghidorah. I feel like it will be some sort of a supercharged atomic breath, whether that be red or just blue or maybe even purple. It doesn't matter. It'd be cool if it was red though. If he charges up and just nails Ghidorah with this red spiral ray right when we hit the Godzilla hero theme, that would be incredible. And that's what this does sound like, is as the song crescendos up, to the end of the song, it sounds like Godzilla's victory over Ghidorah, which that is a way better victory song than the one that played in 2014. The one that played in 2014 should have been Godzilla's theme song. Think about how great that would have been. I don't know, guys. I am super excited to hear this full song. I've been learning the one that we've heard at the convention. I've already taken that clip, the footage of it. I've been listening to it over and over again, and I've been starting to learn how to play the full thing on piano. That should be fun to play. I'm so excited. You guys know at this point that pretty much all I listen to all day long is Godzilla music. It is the biggest aspect of my life is Godzilla, so I listen to the soundtracks almost exclusively, and I'm listening to music constantly, so I'm always listening to Godzilla music. And I think one of my favorite aspects of the new movie, even though we haven't seen it yet, or I shouldn't say that, but I should say one of the aspects that I'm the most excited for is the Ifukube music returning. That might be the most excited I am for this new movie, is to see how Ifukube's music is worked into the movie. I don't know, guys. Tell me what you guys think of all this down below. Are you a big fan of the choir singing Godzilla? Are you a big fan of that? Or are you like, they should probably just kept it instrumental like I am? Let me know down below. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you guys next time for a video breaking down the teaser for the trailer, and that'll be coming out later today. See you guys next time. D-Man, out.